So today's hour and a half, we will be focusing specifically on Cvent, one of the 3 applications that makes up eCom. I know I've already met many of you. For those of you who I have not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Melanie Jones. I am the eCom training manager down at 1800 Grant Street in Denver at the Office of the President. So I am very much involved in this kind of new user or onboarding phase, really making sure everybody, whether you're at Colorado Springs or Boulder or Denver, that we're all getting those same basics. And then after that, I'll talk a lot today about your eCom specialist. So we have folks on your campuses who are also devoted to eCom, and we'll kind of do that more as you continue with eCom, that day-to-day support. So a couple of things that we're going to focus on today, and within Cvent specifically, is the help and support that's already built into Cvent. And they are a massive company. They do amazing events, and they can be incredibly small, right? Just give me your first name, last name, email, and they can be incredibly robust. And so Cvent is a lot, and I say that compared to Marketing Cloud. You can just do a lot more in there. So the learning curve is a lot steeper. So today's training is very much an overview. Get your bearings of what you must do for creating your event. Hopefully layer on how that plays with Marketing Cloud and Salesforce, right? Really specific to eCom. But what I see for most users is that your first event is going to continue to evolve over time. There are so many bells and whistles that you can kind of grow into within Cvent. But for this first phase or your first event, they very much tell people, don't bite off too much. Try to keep it simple because that learning curve is pretty steep. But they have incredible help and training resources throughout their website. I use this all the time. And when you can't find your answers there, you can actually reach out to help and support. There are Cvent specific experts that you can open a case with, you can call, or you can IM with back and forth. And so this is separate from your eCom specialist. And frankly, as they are more Cvent experts, there's been cases where somebody's asked me a question and I have to go to the expert. So really just want to make you aware of that resource that you are always welcome to go to. A little clarity around some terminology within Cvent. You can kind of create 2 different types of events, and standard is what we will focus on today and actually create. And the reason is these can support far more robust events like multi-day alumni retreats, things like that. They can also be pared down really far. And so that's where I think, again, because of the steep learning curve, it just makes sense to learn standard, and that way it can support any and all events. There is something called Express, which is supposed to be kind of easier event forms. I've seen people start that because they think, oh, it's simplified. It should be easier for me. It kind of paints you in a corner where you can't like collect guest registration or things like that, where I think long-term it's going to do you a disservice. So that's why we train you on standard events. And that's what we'll learn today. And so with that and those standard events, some of the features that you're able to get, and like I said, there's a lot. I'm just going to highlight the most common ones. You create an entire event website specific to your particular event. So this can have multiple pages. You can also just have it be one landing page. Very much depends on your needs. I've also highlighted a function called Widget. So it's a cool way to kind of integrate a countdown for when somebody needs to register for your event on maybe your actual website. So trying to interact there. Some of those other features that are available within standard registration are sessions. So pretty straightforward. Today, you all registered for this event, and we had 3 different sessions. Had I tried to create an express event, that option doesn't exist. So again, why we want you trained in standard. Another feature I see used all the time, although I didn't use it for this event, is guests. So if somebody wants to bring their spouse, family, friends, they can input that while they're registering. And so we'll also look today at what else is in Cvent and why does it take more time to learn and create an event. And that's because it's not just your event website. It's not just the registration process. You can start sending emails out of Cvent, and we'll be very clear about what emails must go through Marketing Cloud and what event emails can go out through Cvent. But right, you all got a message this morning from me called a Know Before You Go, which was sent from Cvent. So we'll look at that today as well. And similarly to that, you can also send out surveys, a feature within Cvent. So I could send out a survey asking how today's event went, all residing in Cvent. We also have the ability to collect for paid events. And I tend to do mostly free events, but we are absolutely, I'll talk through this a bit more how this happens, but we can collect finance information and get that money back to your speed type for your department. And then as your event, once you actually launch it and folks start registering, you might be logging in there to see, well, how many people have responded. And so there is something called Invitee management within Cvent if you needed to update their registration or something like that. You can also do a lot of reporting on your particular event within Cvent. So a lot of the times I have somebody who's helping with the event, they might not have access to Cvent asking me for a list of attendees. Or maybe those paid events, they want to see how much money is coming back to the department. All things that you can do within Cvent reporting. And of course, still looking at as your event approaches, there's a cool feature in there where you can actually print name badges. So it's going to tap into the Invitee management piece, so really giving you real time who is registered for this event, and you can create your name badges and print them. So that might be kind of new to some folks. And I will also highlight, this is such a big thing, if you've been in the applications for a while and you're not using the OnArrival app, I highly, highly advise it. And I've even used it for today's event. So this really takes me from knowing who registered for my event to me knowing who actually attended my event. So it's a cool app that I was able to download for free on my iPhone. And I can just, again, I get your list in real time of who's registered for this event, and I can easily just mark you guys off. Rather than printing lists and marking it at a registration table. You can definitely kind of get away from that.